This is 2019, and he's still touching lives. And he's not even here in the flesh. He's still touching many people that say, oh, what is this? And many of us have a testimony about how the prophet touched our lives that's incredible. It's really incredible. Some of my European associates I knew, what's this about you, Emmanuel? You didn't used to be that way. I said, well, I didn't know. Now that I know who I am, I took advantage of the opportunity to proclaim that. So whatever you knew me about what I was before has changed. I changed, and I made a correction in my life. And you should change too. It's what I tell my European friends, because you're not white. And stop telling people you're white. Go to your dinner table tonight and have a conversation with your people. And if whatever nationality that you are, tell them who you are. And tell all the rest of your people who you are. And tell the people you meet who look like you to stop calling yourselves white. It's wrong. Correct yourself. Prophet Noble Drew Ali is one of the greatest inspirational human beings in this century. Now we have to consider what the prophecies mean. The prophecies mean a continuation of information since the beginning of time. This is one of many ways we know that Noble Drew Ali is Allah's prophet, because he has brought us and the entire world a saving power, the everlasting gospel to assure us that man will win, that man is from the everlasting past to the never-ending days to come, and that there's no failure for him, frankly. There's no failure for man. Well, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali explains to us that Marcus Garvey was his forerunner, just like John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days. Marcus Garvey started the people to thinking, our people, to thinking about, hey, up United Mighty Nation, you can liberate yourself. Because in Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, he also says to his people, he said, we need a nationality, just like the Chinese, just like the English. He said, and we need to get back to the God of Africa, who is Allah. Now, I'm quoting Marcus Garvey's words from his letter in his book, Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. So those people who doubt Marcus Garvey being a forerunner of the prophet should read the Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. And it's right there. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali is in many history books. In the early 40s, there is a book called They Seek a City by Anna Bontemps, who wrote about the great Prophet Noble Drew Ali by Doubleday Publishing Company. And then there's another book, the BLACK Gods of Metropolis by Arthur Fawcett, who speaks about Noble Drew Ali. In fact, they speak about the Prophet Noble Drew Ali passing off the scene physically in 1929, and the next year, 1930, according to Arthur Fawcett's book, there's a man who shouted that he was the Prophet Noble Drew Ali reincarnated. He was a peddler in Detroit, and his name was Farad Muhammad. We have reference to many of these people being a part of Prophet Noble Drew Ali's program, in which if you continue to watch this program, you'll get a copy of the posting of the membership in Detroit in 1929, where Farad Muhammad, Elijah Poole Bey, and his family were members and followers of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Black history is dead history. It has no relevancy to us as free national beings, having our free national name. We're glad that his name is not mentioned in Black history, because that doesn't serve the purpose in which he came here for. Our prophet Noble Drew is the first Moorish American, the first one. Now, there were Moroccan Americans then, there are Moroccan Americans now. But a Moorish American, he's the first one. And he says, what I have done, all of you can do. And I'm paraphrasing according to Jesus. But he is the first one, and what he's done is he's made all of us like him, Moorish American Muslims. I have never seen anything in writing that he went to Washington, D.C. and brought our flag. I have never seen anything of that sort, but if it is available, I'd like to read it, know more about it, but I can't stand on it, that flag. I know that I believe that he didn't have to get permission from anybody to do what he had to do for our people, because Allah Almighty divinely prepared him and sent him here for this purpose. And his coming is just immaculate. Look how many lives he's touched. This is 2019, and he's still touching lives. And he's not even here in the flesh. He's still touching many people that say, oh, what is this? And many of us have a testimony about how the prophet touched our lives. That's incredible. It's really incredible. Some of my European associates I knew, what's this about you, Emmanuel? You didn't used to be there. I said, well, I didn't know. Now that I know who I am, I took advantage of the opportunity to proclaim that. So whatever you knew me about what I was before has changed. I changed, and I made a correction in my life. And you should change too. It's what I tell my European friends, because you're not white. And stop telling people you're white. Go to your dinner table tonight and have a conversation with your people. And if whatever nationality that you are, tell them who you are. And tell all the rest of your people who you are. And tell the people you meet who look like you to stop calling yourselves white. It's wrong. Correct yourself. We have corrected ourselves and going back to our free national name. You should too. And if you left Christianity, you need to go back to it, because it was prepared by your forefathers for your earthly salvation. Get to getting. And when a prophet comes, it changes the era of time. It becomes a new era of time now. This, just by their coming, it changes the time, because now we have a burst of light, a glorious burst of light to enlighten us, where we can get back on the path of righteousness, because many of us throughout time have went through a path that is not righteous, and we have to be pulled back in. So Allah, through his mercy, sends a prophet to us and into the world to bring us back on the path of righteousness. See, when you're on the path of righteousness, it's not a path that you stand on the corners of and point the way and not go. All right? It's a path that you go because you see the footprints clearly cut and see that it's possible you can go that way. Prophet Muhammad, Ibn Abdul Bareva, as they say, peace be upon him, he stood up praying so much his feet swelled up. If you read Washington Irving's book, Muhammad the Prophet, his feet swell up. That book, it's called The Life of Muhammad by Washington Irving. I've had that book for several years and I can't finish it without crying. I mean, crying. The type of crying that you can't catch your breath. Because this brother went through so much, man. Went through so much. As most prophets do. The misconception of what this movement is dedicated to. The misconception of why they're even here, to help us find our way back to the path of light. But prayer is a personal thing. It should be with each human being, whether you're standing, sitting, or bowing. It should be a personal thing. Some of us don't have feet to stand. Some of us don't have legs. Some of us were born that way. Some of us were amputees. But whenever you can remember your Lord Allah Almighty in any kind of way, in prayer and meditation, we are obligated to do so. That's why the bird sings in the morning. It's prayer to Allah. And the bee is sheltering comb. There's significance in saying, Allah Almighty, we love you, and we in unison with you in every step of the way. So man gives his heart to Allah Almighty in prayer. But we have a ritual that our Prophet has given to us where we stand on 7 and square off, not forward like you're gonna fall, but straight up. And we pray. It is a high level of spiritual learning for those who have lived a clean and moral life. And it's an elevation for those who are who become what we call a vested man or woman, to take an official position in the Moorish Science Temple of America as an angel, sort of like an angel to keep the unbelievers away. It is a high level of spiritual consciousness for some of our members who have reached that point, that they can achieve even a higher level of consciousness and spirituality, and a profound dedication to this organization, where they are reminded of their divine fiduciary responsibilities and are ready to perform fiduciary responsibilities to the utmost of their very power. The Supreme Grand Council is never non-existent as long as you have a Supreme Grand Sheik and Chairman who appoints those positions. We appoint. We don't elect positions. We may elect issues or come to elect a consensus on issues. But when the offices are there, they are appointed. That's why the Prophet has a copy on his first meeting on the back of the questionnaire. Those were appointments, to appoint, anoint, and appoint. And he appointed these people as board members. Emilio Smalley, The appointments continues according to Act 1 of the additional laws as continues, or you can be taken out of office. The appointment continues by the Supreme Grand Sheik and Chairman, as the Prophet said to Melio, you will sit in my seat in my absence. That office. You have to have a continuance of that office. So we know that that office has always been filled and has been referred to as Supreme Grand Sheik and Chairman, or just Chairman of the Supreme Grand Council. They're intertwined. So this human body is the 8th one from that line, and Miliel being the first one. And to say that there is no line is to say that there's no Supreme Grand Council. There's no central authority. To say that, oh, the line has been broken so it not exists, that's not true. Even if all the vacancies have not been filled, the one who fills the vacancy is the one who holds that position as Supreme Grand Sheik and Chairman. He fills those vacancies. Right now we have vacancies on the Supreme Grand Council. Some of them are filled, and we're still looking for good men and women to fill the rest of the vacancies. But that doesn't mean the Supreme Grand Council doesn't function, because you can have alternates there to make up the 7. to get the business done for the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Supreme Grand Council meets quarterly, as opposed to what they think, oh, we only have a conclave once a year. And that once a year is a fiscal year. And you have to count the year that we started. That's why some people get off the track of what convention this is, because you're not on the main track anyway. There's a continuance of the legacy that the prophet has already left. You know, the prophet again told us about schemes. We know what a scheme is. Scheming. Huh? He said they're working every scheme that they can. And they come up with some schemes that you say, what? Where you get this from? You got to pay $200 and something to get your papers. That's a scheme. The prophet said nationality is free. Not only here, but all over the world, nationality is free. Why do I have to pay you $200? You pay for what it costs to print that card, and sometimes it's only 25 cents. You pay for your button, which was 50 cents. You pay for your dues card, which is 10 cents. It costs $1.35 to get your nationality card. That's what it costs. So you say it's free because you only pay for what it costs to print that. It's free. So why come up with these kind of schemes like that? Well, I can show you how to save your house if you go to court and you do this. That's not in none of the prophet's teachings. I would like to know where you get this from. Well, see, you're going to lose your house if you don't do this, and you have to do this. Where is that in the prophet's teachings? Where? Well, you don't have to drive. You have to drive with no license. Is that in Act 1, Act 2, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4, Act 5? Where is that at? Help me to find this. These are schemes. And those who are working these schemes, the prophet said you are embezzler of the faith. That's what you are. Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered organization. We are not here for schemes. We are not here to teach hate. We're not here to teach anti-Americanism stuff. And we're not terrorists. Never have been and never will be. We stand for this Constitution as citizens of this government. And anyone who think their condition could be better, the prophet said you need to be here in the Moorish Science Temple of America. And change your name to Do the Right Thing, Bey. Do the right thing, ill. Islam.
This series and many others can only be found exclusively on Amexem. Quickly sign up with our 3-step process to get started. The link to access your trial is in the description below. We'll see you in the next chapter. Peace and love.